And what's up, everybody? We're here in the Talon podcast in the studio. We're recording this on a Friday, and I'm here with new trustee member Zurich Lewis. How you doing?
I'm doing real well, thank you.
Good. Awesome. Recently elected, about 2 weeks ago, I would say.
Yep.
November 5th elections. You were elected to what district?
We're elected to Trustee Area 7, representing La Mirada, Norwalk, Cerritos, Santa Fe Springs, and one precinct to South Whittier.
Awesome. And just kind of walk me through that. Obviously you guys were campaigning for a good amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are putting in a lot of effort for that. Just tell me how the campaign process went for you.
Sure. So I started looking at this race about 5 months ago when I was looking at, who's going to be running for local districts and elections and all that. And when I didn't hear any, high names looking at this race, I realized, what if I were to run for this election? And I asked some of my friends, well, what would you think, just as a hypothetical? And they're like, yeah, Zurich, you should totally do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. And as I looked more into what the position was about, I realized how big of an impact you can have on higher education, and not just particularly higher education, but also just the education in general in our local community by offering classes to K through 12 school districts so that we can get them into higher education that much quicker and that much more efficiently. And so as I started to look into this race and talk to some of the current trustees and other local officials, they supported me in my decision to run. And when I filed to run in about late August or early August, I finally realized that it was coming true, and I put together a campaign that was based on knocking on people's doors and talking to them in person. Especially for such a small district, I was able to walk at least 75% of all of the precincts in the district and talking to people in person, just showing my face. And that is still the best way to contact a voter and to influence them to vote for you, just by showing your face and showing that you are interested in impacting whatever office it is, in this case Cerritos Community College. And so going through that and talking to everybody there, I was able to win this election pretty convincingly.
And just kind of tell me, how are you relatively new to this whole campaign game here, or how long have you been in this field of this realm of being a part of the trustees and all that?
In terms of the trustees here at Cerritos College, I haven't been able to connect with everyone that I've wanted to so far, and that's what I plan on doing over the next 4 years. But in terms of just the general political campaign scene, I first started getting interested in politics back in 2008 when the presidential debates were still going on, and I was flipping through the channels and figured, might as well watch it. And it was then that I almost had an epiphany of, these kind of things actually matter, and these kind of things actually impact people in the most direct way. And so I began observing it, starting at the national level and going down to little by little the state and then local politics, in which I got involved with a couple of city council and school board campaigns over the last year, working on their campaigns to bring their message to the community that I live in and the general community in the area. So once I got involved in that and saw how it really worked in the background machinations, I realized that this is something that you can really do, and you can really make an impact just by having that initiative to go out and believing in yourself, having that confidence, and having the backing of the community that supports your message to go out and make it happen. Mm-hmm. That's what I've done and will continue to do.
Right. And how old are you?
21.
21. Wow. That's a relatively young age to achieve this trustee position, especially back in 2008, just getting into this whole political game of sorts. Just kind of walk me through achieving this. You're covering a whole district. You're representing this whole community here at the age of 21, recently, in a sense, getting into this whole political genre. Just walk me through your mindset when you have to represent all these people and you've made these promises for your election campaign here.
So, going around and knocking on people's doors, telling them that, I want to partner with K through 12 school districts, maintain fiscal accountability at Cerritos College, and continue to make those connections. One of my campaign slogans was connecting our communities, because Cerritos College in and of itself is almost a city. And that city is made up of students who have a bright future and continuing on into schools around the nation, or even just in our local community. So what I've wanted to do, and what my campaign was all about, is making those connections by allowing for students that are here to not only serve their community while they're here at Cerritos College, but also having the communities of La Mirada, Cerritos, Santa Fe Springs, South Whittier, and Norwalk, and the other ones that are represented by the other trustee areas, to help out those students by making sure that they're supported in whatever they need. And that's essentially what I plan on doing for the next 4 years.
Obviously, you just illustrated that for me. You mentioned that you wanted to help, bring in more classes, help facilitate and strengthen the K through 12 programs. Recently, we've been seeing this uproar of, kind of against President Lacey for that same reason, lack of classes. And obviously, it's not just her. It's a whole, big spectrum. There's a multitude of reasons of why that would be. But we have all these people kind of saying that same thing, we're going to bring in more classes, we're going to strengthen that. What makes you different? What makes you believe that you can actually make it happen?
I believe that because I got elected as someone who is 21 years old, I believe that I can relate to students that much better. And my new perspective to the Board of Trustees is going to allow me to have that much more staying power with the ability to be backed by the students of Cerritos College, because essentially I am one of them. I may not go to Cerritos College specifically, but I am a college student, and that was one of the reasons that I did get into this race. So going in there and being an effective advocate and messenger for the student cause by trying to get additional classes. Even just these last couple of days, I was trying to register for classes at Biola, where I go now, and there were a lot of classes I was not able to get, even as a senior, that I needed to get for like PE or any poli-sci classes that I may have wanted. And so it is a pandemic problem throughout the educational system that we don't have enough classes that are available at different times that are needed. And so as a member of the Board of Trustees, I'm able to go in there with that perspective and with that knowledge of what's happening right now in the 21st century, and be able to formulate that policy, working with others in the administration to make that happen in the best way possible for students.
How do you juggle being a student? You said you go to Biola, and then having this different hat and being part of the trustees. How do you even approach that? It seems like just a hectic thing to do. How do you hope to balance all that, and how do you hope to really accomplish all that?
In many ways, it's the same way that other trustees could juggle their day jobs with the job as being a trustee here. And so, during the day is when I have many of my classes. I have currently 17 units there, and next semester I'll be having 14 units. And so that lighter load will allow me to have more time to devote to Cerritos College there. But it's the same way that anyone else would have a day job. And I've specifically centered my schedule around the 6:30 meeting on Wednesdays for the Board of Trustees. And so, I'm there to make sure that I have that current experience of being a student, as well as going to community college, to bring that same perspective that I'm currently living right now, and making it happen for the students.
Walk me through it. November 5th, you've been doing this entire campaign. You've been putting a lot of strength to it. November 5th, the voting's happening. What goes through your mind as you're waiting for the results to come in, and as the moment comes that you actually find out that you won? Tell me your mindset during that moment.
Yeah, so, then on Tuesday, November 4th, I really thought about all of the campaigning that I'd done over the last 3 months of, knocking on every door, making sure, did I hit the right precinct? Did I make sure my strategy was correct? Did I hit enough permanent absentee voters? And so you start to think about, what you could have done better, what you did well, and what your opponent may have done, and, you just really have a sense of relief in many ways, because you know that you can't do anything more. It's already done. Here come the results. And when the polls closed at about 8 o'clock, I waited about half an hour until all of the early votes and the absentee votes that came in first appeared on the LA County website, and it showed me with 60% lead, and I'm like, okay, that's really good. I was very happy about that, but I was still cautiously optimistic to make sure that, let's not celebrate too early, let's not jinx it or anything. But I kept on watching the results, and little by little, as the precincts trickled in, I still maintained that 60%. And, as finally as all 35 precincts got counted, it's like, what, I can finally let go and realize that all the work that not only I had done, but also my father had done, and I really appreciate, all that my father did as well as everyone else, because my father walked 321 miles for me over the last 2 months of campaigning, handing out my literature and talking to people on the streets, and we both of us had lost about 10 pounds throughout that campaigning, so it was a win in both ways.
Right.
And I have to thank everybody that supported me in the local community and went out and walked for me and talked to people, because winning grassroots campaigns is not something that you can micromanage. It's something that you have to leave up to them to make it happen, and that's the way that you win, by getting people to support you through word of mouth and through talking to them in person, and that's the most personal way you can make it happen.
Interesting. And that election day was November 4th, correct? Yes. Awesome. I'm kind of like getting those dates confused because it correlates with the time our newspaper came out, so it's kind of like I'm kind of jumbling those dates together. But tell me, final Board of Trustees meeting, it's going to be around December. I forget the date. But tell me, it's going to be an inauguration kind of ceremony where they kind of welcome the 3 new trustee members along with yourself, John Paul Dreher and Shin Liu. Tell me just kind of what that would mean for yourself in about a month, and if we're going to be seeing a lot more of yourself at these Board of Trustees meetings.
December 10th is the inauguration day and the last Board of Trustees meeting for this calendar year. And so, going up there and being sworn in with 2 incumbents allows me to really feel like, I've earned it along with them. They went out and campaigned very hard. Both John Paul and Shin Liu were out there, walking, and I think it's a very big honor, and, I'm looking forward to the next 4 years where I can be able to immerse myself in all of the policies and all of the decisions that the Board of Trustees will be doing, and making sure that I know what the students' concerns are, and making sure that I fight for those at the Board of Trustees meetings, and making sure that everything goes according to board policy, and everything goes according to the Brown Act as well.
And that would pretty much conclude our podcast for today. Zurich Lewis, I don't know if you have anything final to say or anything else you want to chip in for this podcast.
Well, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity to speak directly to the students, and to be able to make my face known, and to be able to say hello, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 years, and thanking all of my supporters, and looking forward to working with you, President Aiello, and the Student Senate, and everyone else on this campus. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Take care of yourself, man.